number of new coronavirus cases reported in Los Angeles County over the last 24 hours is 864, with 34 additional deaths. Here in Torrance, 2 additional cases were reported with no new deaths. Welcome to COVID-19 Today. I'm Christine Lee. It's Wednesday, March 16th. California lawmakers decided to prolong our COVID-19 state of emergency. The Senate Governmental Organization Committee rejected a resolution on Tuesday with a vote of 8-4 that would have terminated Governor Gavin Newsom's emergency declaration from March 2020. Senator Melissa Melendez introduced the resolution in December 2020, but Senate President Pro Tem Tony Atkins did not grant it a hearing until February 17th, the same day when Governor Newsom introduced his latest COVID-19 response. The COVID emergency declaration allows Governor Newsom to access federal funding and override state laws while carrying out the state's pandemic response. He said last month that he'd end or let expire a series of executive orders and provisions he has issued during the pandemic emergency, although adding that he needed to keep the overall declaration in place to implement his latest plan. Senator Melendez said on Tuesday that it's time for local governments to take the lead on the COVID-19 response. Meanwhile, representatives from the California Hospital Association, the California Professional Firefighters, the California State Association of Counties, Urban Counties of California, and the mayors of Oakland and LA all urged the committee to keep the emergency declaration in place. A virtual town hall takes place tonight, providing the latest information on all things COVID-related here in LA County. Public Health will host the meeting starting at 6 p.m. Officials will discuss post-surge plans, vaccinations, boosters, school guidance, and therapeutics. Questions can be submitted at tinyurl.com/LAC-townhall0316. The meeting will be streamed live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at LA Public Health. Pfizer and its partner BioNTech are asking U.S. regulators to authorize an additional booster shot for seniors. They say data from Israel suggests older adults would benefit from the extra dose of their COVID-19 vaccine. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration and the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention would have to approve the request. While authorities continue to say vaccinations offer strong protection against severe illness, they have not held up too well against milder infections, especially those due to the Omicron variant. Pfizer based its new application on data from Israel, which has been giving second boosters to those ages 60 and older, as well as to healthcare workers since January. The company submitted available data to the FDA and is waiting to see what the experts there have to say. Pfizer based its new application on data from Israel, which has been giving boosters to those ages 60 and older, as well as to healthcare workers since January. The second booster shot, Pfizer says an analysis of health records of more than 1.1 million Israeli seniors showed that confirmed infections were 2 times lower and the rates of severe illness were 4 times lower among those who got 2 boosters instead of 1. Pfizer also cited an ongoing study of healthcare workers that showed a jump in virus-fighting antibodies after getting the 4th dose. Here in the U.S., a 4th dose is only recommended for people with severely weakened immune systems, those who need 3 doses to begin with for the best chance at any protection. Second Gentleman Doug Emhoff has tested positive for COVID-19. Vice President Kamala Harris says he's doing fine and they are grateful to be vaccinated and boosted. She has tested negative and says she will continue to test. She also urges Americans to get vaccinated and boosted if they have not already. White House officials say the vice president will also curtail her schedule as a result of her husband's positive test. She did not participate last night at a planned Equal Pay Day event at the White House out of an abundance of caution. She and President Joe Biden appeared together earlier yesterday with lawmakers at an event marking the signing of a $1.5 trillion government funding measure. The federal government provided more than $2 billion to help cover funeral costs for more than 300,000 families of people who died from COVID-19. The Federal Emergency Management Agency made the announcement yesterday as it launched a new campaign to raise awareness of the aid that is still available for families. The COVID-19 Funeral Assistance Program provides up to $9,000 per funeral and covers COVID-19 related deaths since January 20th, 2020. FEMA says the average award that's given per death is $6,500. Starting Tuesday, the agency launched a new paid ad campaign in multiple states, including California, targeting areas with large rates of COVID-19 deaths but lower rates of reimbursement requests to help connect people to available assistance. FEMA is also reaching out to community groups and local media outlets to help publicize the program. Qualified individuals can call 844-684-6333 to get started. More than 965,000 people in the U.S. have died so far from the virus. If you've been planning a trip that involves flying, you may have noticed that airfare is getting very expensive. Jet fuel costs are soaring along with other fuel prices, but experts say that's not what's causing the price hike. They say it's actually due to the return of passenger demand. The nation's leading airline executives say they've all seen much stronger demand for air travel than expected. American and Delta both reported record days for bookings last week, with Delta reps saying they're seeing a rise in demand that is really unprecedented. That means fares are going up $15 to $20 on a $200 ticket in the second quarter of this year, up to a 10% increase above what Delta had previously planned on charging for fares. The rising fuel cost is still a concern. It's the second largest expense for airlines behind labor costs, making up to a quarter of operating expenses. The three largest U.S. airlines, American, Delta, and United, warned investors this week that the average price for a gallon of jet fuel will jump between 17% and 33% in the current quarter compared to the last 3 months of 2021, and up to 72% over what they paid a year ago. Still, they've learned over the last 2 years that they can't simply raise fares to cover costs, as the U.S. airline industry collectively lost tens of billions of dollars as demand for air travel plunged. Despite leisure travel picking up last summer, all U.S. airlines reported losses for the year. They're hoping for a different outcome in 2022, saying demand should be enough to return the industry to profitability for the first time since 2019, as the increase in passengers allows airlines to raise ticket prices. The Senate passed a measure this week that would make daylight saving time permanent across the U.S. The Sunshine Protection Act was passed by the chamber unanimously on Tuesday. The bill now heads to the House of Representatives and needs to get approved there before being signed into law by President Joe Biden. If the measure clears Congress and becomes law, it would mean no more falling back every year in the fall. The bill has bipartisan support, including several Democratic and Republican co-sponsors. Daylight saving time this year began on Sunday and is set to last until November 6th. The bill delays the implementation of permanent daylight saving time until November 2023 to give airlines and railways time to adjust their schedules. The Torrance City Council met last night to conduct city business. City leaders awarded purchase orders to furnish water treatment chemicals for the North Torrance Wellfield facility over the next 3 years. They also gave the green light for the Public Works Department to begin work on a 2-year residential and arterial pavement improvement project, and the city leaders began to review a proposal to build an automatic car wash facility at 2880 Sepulveda Boulevard, and decided to bring this item back to the next council meeting on March 29th to continue the conversation. You can watch replays of the meeting on our website, YouTube, Facebook, and of course, right here on City Cable. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for the State of the City 2022. It starts at 12 noon and will be streamed live on facebook.com/TorranceCA. Mayor Patrick Fury will give his annual address for the final time. And Craig Leach, President and CEO of the Torrance Memorial Medical Center, will be celebrated as a Distinguished Citizen of the Year. This event will be presented by the Torrance Area Chamber of Commerce. Tomorrow is also St. Patrick's Day, a day to grab a cold green beer if you'd like. 21 Square Bar and Kitchen, located inside the Torrance Marriott Redondo Beach, will have draft green beers all day for just $5. It's located at 3635 Fashion Way, right across from the Del Amo Fashion Center facing Nordstrom. Fun fact, I'm told that 21 Square is representative of the city, being 21 square miles. Black Angus and Absolution Brewing Company will also have green beers available. And if you happen to have some blue or green food coloring, you can turn any beer green. And Torrance has a dozen local craft breweries and counting. You can grab a Torrance beer map at the California Welcome Center inside Del Amo Fashion Center. Well, before we go, at the end of each program, we like to share feel-good stories from our community. Pictures, images, and videos that remind us of how resilient our community is and how Torrance truly cares. The HIP crew, which stands for Home Improvement Program, recently replaced an aging staircase with a new one. The city's Parks and Recreation Department shared these photos saying you can't see that the two bottom steps were rotten and mushy, which tends to happen over the years when stairs are covered with carpet. The new stairs are made of 3/4-inch plywood and painted with exterior anti-skid paint. It's an example of what the city can do for free for disabled individuals and senior citizens who may need some help with similar home improvement projects. For more information on this program, you can call 310-618-2731 or email hip@torranceca.gov. Now, if you have a great story, an upcoming event, a photo or video you'd like to share, email us at covid19today@torranceca.gov. We'd love to hear from you. Well, that's our update for COVID-19 Today. We'll see you back here tomorrow as Bella Shaw brings you the latest. Be safe, stay healthy, and thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.